Welcome back to your creativity workouts for art and for life. It has been a while, a year as a matter of fact, since I made a video. I moved myself all the way across country. Yes, that's New York City in the background. Finally got myself settled in, and now I'm ready to start making videos again. So today's video is all about art and meditation, or meditating and doing a mindfulness meditation while making art. I figured sometimes when I'm making art, or often while I'm making a piece of art, I end up getting into that state eventually that we call flow, where everything just feels really, really good and you just want to keep going forever and ever and ever. So I'm thinking, well, maybe we can get ourselves into that flow state using the steps that a person would normally use to do a mindfulness meditation, which is basically repeating something simple over and over and over again. I've practiced with breath work, and I managed once for a week to do 10 minutes of a breathing meditation, and then that was it. I couldn't handle it anymore. I just can't seem to focus. But knowing how much I enjoy doing art, I figure, well, maybe I can do some sort of repetitive actions while I'm doing art and end up in that flow meditative sort of state. So that's what today's video is all about, how to get into that flow state while doing a meditation. It's pretty easy, actually. It's just a matter of repeating a few simple steps, making some rules for yourself. Some very simple rules, like selecting a certain number of colors, selecting a shape that's going to be repeated over and over again, setting the timer for a certain length of time so that you don't have to worry about when you're going to be finished, and this just getting into enjoying painting those particular simple shapes and those colors that you've selected ahead of time because you enjoy the colors over and over and over again until the timer goes off. You're done. Hopefully you've gotten into a meditative state by that time. I find that it works a lot more easily for me than doing the breathing meditations because I just love painting and doing art, and I figure, well, if you're on this channel, you probably enjoy doing art too. So let me show you how I go about doing this art mindfulness meditation. And one more thing before we get started. I Googled the benefits of mindfulness meditation. Turns out it's pretty magical stuff. So here's the list of what I found out. Reduce stress, better focus, improved flow, which is what I really enjoy about the mindfulness meditation, that flow state you get into when you're doing art. Increased happiness, stronger resilience in the face of life's challenges, better relationships, and improved health. Well, if it's going to do all that, why not get started? So I start by gathering the materials, 4 colors of water-based paint, and these are not all the same kind of paint. I've got yellow ochre, which is watercolor, some bright red, which is actually some acrylic craft paint, some cadmium yellow light and titanium white, and those are actually acrylic paints. Any watercolor paints or water-based paints will actually go together just fine. And I chose 4 colors to keep it simple. It's probably best to choose colors that happen to appeal to you at the time that you're doing the meditation, because that's one of those things that's going to help you stick to it as well. I have a piece of paper here that's thick enough to hold that water-based paint and large enough so that I can paint for an hour, which is what I'm going to set my timer to. This is just a scrap of mixed media paper. I think it's about 16 inches square. And I have here about 3 brushes, but it turns out that I only end up using one of them, which is just fine. You'll notice I'm creating this weird little paint palette here. I'm actually taping some freezer paper shiny side up around a cutting board. It works great for a paint palette. Now for the rules, and we'll keep the rules simple because the idea is to keep the rules simple with repetitive steps so that you can continue to do those same steps over and over and over and over and over again throughout the meditation to sort of get you into that flow state and that mindfulness state. So what I have decided to do is paint a single shape repeatedly, and my shape is going to be a square. It could be a rectangle, a line, a circle, a triangle, or a line, circle, triangle that you repeat over and over again. Whatever shape you decide you're going to repeat over and over again. I've decided that I'm going to overlap the shapes a bit. You can overlap them. You can paint them next to each other, on top of each other. It's whatever particular repeated action that you decide is going to be a part of your meditation. And I've also decided that I'm going to mix in a bit of a different color each time that I paint a new shape. So I've got none of the colors are exactly the same on any of my shapes. That's an option that you can or can't do. It's not necessary. I just decided to do it for my own amusement and because I like the way it looks and it's going to add pleasure to the meditation for me. I am starting out by keeping the paper in one particular position, but I actually start moving it around after each square. I paint a square, I move the paper, I paint a square, I move the paper. That becomes another one of my repetitive actions. So you might want to create a meditation using your own guidelines. Maybe you want to paint, like I mentioned before, circles or triangles or lines. Maybe you want to use markers or pastels. The key is repetitive steps that keep you focused. And the reason for doing this with art, and I imagine because you are watching this video, you too like art, is because it's something enjoyable that you can keep doing for a long enough period of time to get you into that meditative state. I have tried with the breathing techniques, and I'm able to do that for like 5 minutes. I was actually able to do it once for 10 minutes for an entire week. I heard something recently that I think is really cool. It's actually not possible to clear your mind or stay focused on the repetitive steps throughout the meditation. Maybe if you're, a monk who's been practicing for 40 years, you can do that. I don't know. But the rest of us, our minds are going to wander. But it's the action of bringing back our mind and focusing our attention back on the repetitive steps that actually creates the benefits of the mindfulness meditation. It's sort of like flexing your muscles. It's a workout for your focus muscles. So I thought that was really cool when I learned that, and I have not felt guilty about my inability to focus during meditation since I heard that. And I just thought of something else. So maybe next time, instead of painting on this mixed media paper, I will paint on the matte side of some of this freezer paper and end up making some meditation wrapping paper. Or maybe I'll put all of my meditation papers into a book and keep a record of my meditations. Or I don't know what. You can do whatever you want with your meditation results. If you try out an art-based mindfulness meditation, I'd love to hear how it works out for you. Please share your experience in the comment section below and enjoy the rest of the video. If you do enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. We'll see you next video. Thanks. Bye. That's it. We're done. Okay.